I cheated on my wife. She left without saying a word, and I have no idea how to get her back. I'm 35, she's 36. I understand my mistakes, I really do. We had something beautiful. She is still the love of my life. We were together for 10 years, 2 years dating, and 8 years married. But I made a terrible mistake and cheated on her just once. Just one damn time. Somehow she found out, and I still don't know how, because since that day I haven't been able to talk to her at all. She probably found something on my phone. I came home that day like usual, but everything felt strange. The house seemed empty. I quickly realized her things were gone. I panicked, started calling her again and again, but the call wouldn't even connect. Then I saw some papers on the table, divorce papers. Under them was a note, "This is what happens to cheaters." That was the last thing I ever received from her. That was 2 years ago. Of course, I called the contact numbers listed for her lawyer. He became the only bridge between us. But he just said he represented her interests and she didn't want to see me. I got angry, argued, tried to convince him, but in the end he simply told me I should hire my own lawyer too. I didn't want to. I refused to accept that 10 years of our life could end just like that. I know I'm the one at fault, but I always wanted to fix everything. I'm sure that if she gave me a chance, I could make her fall in love with me again, the same tender, special girl I met more than 10 years ago. I know I could earn her forgiveness because many couples go through things like this and manage to recover. Why couldn't we be one of those couples? Why, after 8 years of marriage, was I thrown away like trash for one mistake? I didn't deserve that coldness. I haven't seen her or heard her voice in 2 years. 2 years without being able to see or talk to the person you love most in the world, it's too cruel of a punishment. This situation destroyed me emotionally, mentally, even physically. I started drinking heavily, went weeks barely eating, barely sleeping, became a zombie just going through the motions. I wanted to die and held on only to the hope that she would return. My therapist says it's especially hard when there's no closure because the brain can't accept that it's over. You keep expecting the person to knock on the door or to be there when you wake up. The divorce was finalized more than a year ago, and honestly, I didn't make the process easy. I didn't want to get divorced and still don't understand how we even went through with it. I begged my wife to try couples therapy, but she refused. I know from my lawyer that her lawyer advised her to at least go a couple of times, but she said no. Everything dragged on for a long time, but eventually the divorce still happened. The feeling was indescribable, like a part of me had been ripped out. I know I hurt her. I know I failed her. But we all deserve a second chance. When I couldn't bear the pain anymore, I finally decided to start therapy. My therapist won't give me advice on how to get her back. He only focuses on helping me move on. He suggests meeting new people and going on dates. But I don't want that. At this point, I'm not even interested in intimacy anymore. A few days ago, something happened that completely shattered me. My friend, let's call him Nick, was at my place. We were drinking beer. Both of us pretty drunk. I started talking about my wife. He told me, "You need to try harder to forget her. She's already moved on and is living her life happily. You should do the same. You can't spend your whole life drowning in self-pity." Something about the way he said it struck me not in the way he expected. He spoke with such confidence, like he knew for sure that my wife was happy and had forgotten about me long ago. How would he know that? I got angry and pressed him, demanding an explanation. He refused to talk. I insisted, begged, cried, asked him to tell me anything. I needed to know at least something about her. And finally, he confessed. His wife, Sabrina, has been in contact with my wife this whole time for about a year already. They used to be good friends. I remember how Sabrina was upset when she lost contact with her. Turns out my wife moved to Norway, got married there, and is now about 7 months pregnant. My heart stopped. I literally felt like dying when I heard that. How could she do that to me? How could it be that while I drank myself numb, cried, missed her, and wanted to die every day, she was happy somewhere on the other side of the world, is less than #0. 5 is greater than she got married, is sleeping with someone else, pregnant with another man's child. How could it happen that for all these years we couldn't have a child, and I even thought she was infertile, but with this new guy she got pregnant so easily? Where did he even come from? I have no answers to any of these questions, and I can't live without them. The only thing that comes to mind is that maybe out of revenge, she slept with the first Norwegian she met, got pregnant, and decided to keep the baby. Maybe she married him to stay in the country legally. I don't know. In many countries, marriage helps with documents. These thoughts are driving me insane. I refuse to believe she loves him. I need to contact her, talk to her, find out what is happening. Because she's acting as if our 10 years together and 8 years of marriage meant nothing. I need advice on what to do. I feel like everything inside me is boiling. I want to travel to where she lives and find her. But how? I don't know which city she lives in. I don't know her address. I don't have her number. She closed all her social media. Her family is small, they don't live in my country, and they all blocked me. I'm completely lost. I don't know what to do. I still want her back, even pregnant. I feel like I'm stuck in a nightmare and need to wake up fast. Edited. I read almost all the comments. And when I say almost all, I really mean it. It's hard to digest all the nonsense you wrote about me. It feels like you forget you're talking to a real person and not an object. I thought that by sharing my story, I'd find at least a little empathy. Only 2 people expressed any, and their comments helped me a bit. I'm not looking for excuses, and I don't want anyone to say that what I did was right. I know it wasn't, and I live with that every day. It seems no one here knows what a broken heart feels like. What it's like to be unable to let go of someone. You don't choose who you love, and you don't decide when you stop loving. It happens when it happens. For those who doubt my story, unfortunately, it's real. I wish it were fiction, but it's not. I have to live with this nightmare every day. Everyone here seems so sure she's happy. I don't know how you know that. I haven't seen her for 2 years. I have no idea if she's happy. Pregnancy doesn't automatically mean happiness, neither does marriage. We don't know the circumstances under which she got married. Maybe she did it because she got pregnant, felt alone in a foreign country, had no one there, and just held on to this guy. Of course, I blame myself for all of it. None of this would have happened if I had been a better man and a better husband. But I can't change what I did. All I can do is try to fix things. But how do you fix something when the other person doesn't even want to give you a chance? Some people wrote that she doesn't owe me a second chance. It was painful to read, but I understand maybe she really doesn't. I never openly accused her of being the reason we couldn't have kids. It was just a thought. We both went to doctors, and all our tests were normal. I never figured out why it didn't work for us. The thought that maybe she was infertile crossed my mind. Just like the thought that maybe I was infertile. But statistically, infertility is more often linked to the woman's side. Maybe that's why I thought that. People wrote horrible things about me. Like saying I could have hurt my wife if she were near me. I never hit her and never would. I'm not abusive and not a monster. I understand why people struggle to sympathize with me. I know I messed up. I know I caused her pain that can't be described with words. But I'm not a monster and not a narcissist. Some said I never loved her, because otherwise I wouldn't have cheated. That's not fair. Do you think you have the right to define what love is for someone else? Do you think you can look into my head or my heart? Only then would you know what I feel. You can't tell me I didn't love her. Since she left, not a single day has passed when I didn't regret what happened. No one can say that isn't love. In the end, people are much more complicated than many want to believe. Just because I cheated doesn't mean I didn't love her or don't have feelings. I called it a mistake. What else should I call it? Isn't accepting responsibility part of admitting you made a mistake? Is less than #0. 5 is greater than, but everyone twisted my words as if I was trying to paint myself in a good light. That's not what I meant. I don't know how badly I hurt her. Maybe in my post I focused on myself because I never got to explain things to her directly. Since then, I keep trying to piece together a story that makes no sense. I lost everything in a single moment. I was just trying to be honest about my feelings, but clearly that doesn't work here. At least not for me. I understand the damage I caused. This woman left her life, left the country she immigrated to, left her friends, even her job. Nobody does that over a simple breakup unless they're experiencing absolute pain. I understand that. I see and feel the pain I caused her, and that makes it even harder. Comments. Someone asked who I cheated on her with. That's actually important information. It was a random woman who went to the same gym as me. Nothing special. It meant nothing. Not even for a second. I was just an idiot. It seems you have no real remorse for cheating. You just mentioned that your ex somehow found out. So you weren't even planning to tell her. It's been 2 years. Time to take responsibility for your actions and let go. She's never coming back. Heal yourself. Work on yourself with your therapist, and you'll have another chance with someone else. You're only 35. I really do regret cheating. I'm in complete despair right now, but yes, I feel guilt. Maybe you're still in love, but she's not. At least not with you. Author, love disappears just like that. Sometimes I feel like I was more faithful to our marriage than she was. I mean, she left, got remarried, got pregnant, as if she completely forgot about me. And I'm sitting here, drinking wine, crying, writing to strangers on the internet about our relationship. I still love her. But for her, it all seems so easy. Half the people on this forum wish they had as much self-respect as your ex-wife. I don't blame her. I understand the pain I caused her. But in my opinion, plenty of couples go through something similar and stay together, especially if it was only once. I didn't have a long affair. I didn't cheat with multiple women. I didn't get anyone pregnant. I didn't sleep with her friend. Yes, cheating is bad, but are you really putting me in the same category as someone who cheated for years or slept with his wife's sister? That's not fair. This doesn't excuse anything, but for heaven's sake, at least try to be reasonable. Update 2 days later. The last few days have been strange. Sometimes I feel nothing, sometimes I drown in despair. A lot has happened. I want to start by answering one question and then move on to the actual update. Some asked, why Norway specifically? I don't know exactly, but she's a polyglot. She speaks 6 languages. Many of them are tied to cultures she always liked. Norwegian is one of them. She always felt drawn to Norwegian culture. She visited before, but she also liked other countries. She speaks several languages. So, for me, it was never a sign that she would specifically go there. Now the update. The first thing I'll say is that the post reached some people in my circle. Sabrina's sister is here. She knows the whole story and realized the post was about me. She told Sabrina. Sabrina is angry at Nick for revealing information. Nick is angry at me for writing the post and, as he says, forcing him to spill it. And I'm angry at both of them, at 2 people who watched me suffer for 2 years and didn't try to help me even once. They didn't care about my marriage. So why should I care about theirs? Sabrina could have given me my ex-wife's number long ago, but instead she chose to keep her friendship with my ex rather than help 2 friends save their marriage. No one cared about my feelings. I'm done with them. As for my ex-wife, I've thought about this a lot. She couldn't have just disappeared. I convinced myself that if I searched hard enough, I'd find anything connected to her. I follow some of her relatives from a fake Instagram account, but they posted nothing about her. I searched for a long time, really long, and I found a name I'd seen before but didn't pay attention to. A woman with an unusual name and a strange last name, not typical for the US or my ex-wife's home country. She wasn't American, is less than #0.5 is greater than. I opened her Instagram. No photos, nothing. Just a small profile picture where you can barely see anything. Then I found her again, same woman, but this time her profile was open. Turns out she actually lives in Norway. I went through everything I could. I was sure she was somehow connected to my ex-wife. How else would this woman appear on her relatives' friend lists? I looked through dozens of photos. People, plants, mountains, gardens, lakes, flowers, everything typical of what older ladies post. Until I stumbled upon a picture where my ex-wife was in a wedding dress, hugging some man. I had to translate the caption. The woman was congratulating her son on his wedding. There were a few more photos, not many, but in some I even noticed members of my ex-wife's family. The posting dates were from a year ago. A year ago she married him. I don't understand how everything happened so fast. When did she even meet him? I honestly thought she married only after getting pregnant, not before. Now I'm even more confused. Then I found another picture, a group photo. She was in the background, but of course I recognized her immediately. The same guy stood next to her, his arm around her shoulders. The photo was dated February 2023. To be clear, she left me in May 2022. How was she already with someone in February 2023, only 9 months later, and already in a relationship stable enough that he introduced her to his family? What on earth is going on? I know I shouldn't be angry, but I can't help it. I know I lost her because I was an idiot. But I can't get these feelings out of my head. And by the way, for those who imagine that my ex-wife is now married to some Norwegian Chris Hemsworth, no, not even close. This guy is too tall, too pale, too blonde, hair too long, and honestly a bit chubby. He looks more like a caricature Viking from an old cartoon. Definitely not Chris Hemsworth. I found his Facebook profile, but there's almost nothing there. It says he's an engineer. An engineer who, at 38, wears t-shirts with metal band logos. I don't even know what to think about that. I'm also an engineer, just in a different field. Why did she choose a man with the same profession as me? My wife always loved heavy metal. I found it disgusting, but I never complained. Partners don't have to share the same music taste. I mention this because maybe they bonded over music. She always connected easily with people who shared her musical interests. I don't know. But honestly, I look at all this and wonder, where did she even find this guy? She definitely could have found someone better. Her pregnancy still drives me crazy. I try not to think about it, but I don't understand. I'm not infertile, like some comments claimed. I went to a doctor. Everything is normal. But God, it hurts to think she's going to have a child with another man. I can't wrap my head around it. This is beyond anything I ever imagined. And no, I'm not going to Norway. I'm not going to try contacting her, even though I still want to see her and talk to her. But I obviously can't force her into anything. I already have too many problems and too many topics to discuss with my therapist. If somehow this post reaches my ex-wife, know that I still love you. You know how to find me. If her new guy somehow reads this, I want you to know something. The only reason you even got a chance to be with this woman is because some giant fool on the other side of the world screwed everything up. You probably met a woman who was shattered after her divorce, took advantage of her vulnerable state, and ended up getting her pregnant. Playing fair clearly isn't your strong suit. Sabrina and Nick, go to heck. Story 2. I found out that my boyfriend is cheating on me, but tonight is the most important evening of his life. Help me. I'm 25, my boyfriend is 28. We've been together for 3 years. I won't go into all the details of our relationship. We loved each other well, I still love him. But now it's clear he doesn't love me. I found proof that he has been cheating on me for a long time. Small homemade videos with her. I don't know who this girl is, but judging from their messages, yes, I read everything after I found the videos. She doesn't even know I exist. Tonight is a huge evening for my boyfriend. He's receiving a government award at a big dinner with hundreds of people, parents, officials, advisors, and more. The irony is that I discovered the cheating while making a video montage for him, a sweet, emotional clip of important moments in his life. You know, the usual sentimental stuff. Now I'm holding enormous power in my hands. I don't know if I have the courage to do the right thing or even understand what the right thing is. I'm blinded by rage and pain, by betrayal, but at the same time, I still love him. So what should I do? Our relationship is definitely over. I am not the type of woman who forgives cheating. But that's not the point. The point is different. They have a bunch of cute selfies together, nothing explicit. There's enough explicit stuff on the videos. So should I secretly insert one of these photos into the slideshow to let him know that I know? Or should I wait until his big moment is over and talk to him afterward? I am not the kind of person who silently packs her things and disappears without an explanation. That's not my style. And doing that would make me sad, not relieved. But maybe for the first time in my life I should do something petty. For everyone else, it will look like just a photo with a friend, but for him, it will be a personal message, a revelation. Help me. I truly don't know what to do. Comments. You know what? If no one except the two of you will understand the meaning behind it, then just insert that photo into the slideshow. When it appears on the screen, look him straight in the eyes. And when it's all over, just stand up and leave. It's not noble, but not everyone has to be noble all the time. Author. I even smirked a little. I think the only reason I would do it is to look him in the eyes when he realizes that I know. But I'm not sure I'd have the courage. Update. It's been a month and a half since the cheating came to light. I received a lot of requests to tell how everything ended. So here's what I did. I acted childishly, spitefully, and I don't regret it. I took several of their photos, nothing explicit, just ones that from the outside looked like pictures with a childhood friend. I inserted them into the slideshow. On stage, I said kind words about him. And when I finished, I simply walked away. I drove home calm, with a feeling of control over the situation. 20 minutes later, messages started coming in. Where am I? Do I know? Where did I find the photos? Do I have anything else? I replied, I know you're sleeping with her. There are no more photos. and it was true, there weren't. That's where I ended it. That night, he didn't come home. And the next night, he didn't either. The next day, he called and asked to meet and talk in public. We agreed to meet at Starbucks. I arrived early and waited. He was a few minutes late. He sat down across from me and immediately began apologizing. It just happened. I regret it. She means nothing to me. She just looks like a girl I liked in high school, and I couldn't control my teenage self. I didn't interrupt him. I let him talk. When he finished and looked at me, waiting for a reaction, I asked, "So where did you sleep the last couple of days? Is less than #0. 5 is greater than. With her. And what did you do?" He answered, and I didn't even need to hear it. I already knew. I had already decided to leave him. He started talking quickly, interrupting himself, apologizing, begging for forgiveness, promising to change. I told him I didn't want him to change. If he's a cheater by nature, then he's simply not the kind of person I want to be with. He said he was planning to propose to me. I answered, "Good thing I found out before that." A few weeks passed. He moved out. And I'm fine. We cut all communication. People often ask about him, and I simply say, he left me for a girl who reminded him of his high school crush. That's it. We broke up. We will never, never, never be together again. And I don't regret what I did at all. As one commenter said, you don't always have to be noble. On this note, friends, that's where we end today's stories. 2 different lives, 2 different heartbreaks, but one reminder for all of us. Pain doesn't define you. What defines you is what you choose to do after it. Some roads close, so better ones can finally appear, even if it hurts to take the first step. Take care of yourselves, truly. Protect your heart, respect your worth, and don't be afraid to walk away from what breaks you. And remember, you deserve a future where you are valued, chosen, and loved without conditions. Let me know in the comments, which story resonated with you more, and what would you have done in their place? You're watching StoryBoar, where real emotions tell real stories.